A very good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Mendoza in Argentina. It's quarterfinals day at the Women's Champions Trophy. It's quarterfinal 2. It's Australia against Japan. Well, this is how the two sides got into this semi-final. Japan finished third in Pool A behind New Zealand and the Netherlands and above China on goal difference. Australia, well, they lost out on goal difference to Argentina. Argentina needed to score 4 against England to top the pile or win by 3 clear goals. They won it by 4 goals to 1 and hence jumped above Australia to finish on top of the pile. But Australia will fancy their chances against Japan just as they would have fancied their chances against China had they finished first in Pool B. So the players are being led out into the centre of the park by the umpires and the 2 captains as usual. And before the anthems, the team of Japan and everybody here are going to honour the memory of Mr. Miyoshi Ueda, ex-president of the Japan Hockey Association, ex-vice president of Asian Hockey Federation, and ex-executive board and council member of the FIH. So Japan and Australia have met 3 times previously in Champions Trophy matches, the last of which was in 2008. Australia have won all 3. 3-0 in the first round in 2007, 2-0 in the first round in 2008, then 3-0 in the 5th, 6th playoff match, also in 2008. This is the Australia lineup. 6 goals between them, 3 penalty corners, all of them to Jodie Kenny. She's joint top scorer in the competition with Marcia Power. 1 for number 2, Georgia Nascon, and 2 for the very exciting number 26, Emily Smith. There's Adam Cummins, the coach of the Hockey Roos. His side have been doing very nicely, thank you, in this competition so far. As for Japan, well, they've only scored 2 goals in the competition so far. 1, a penalty corner by number 9, Mii Nakashima, and 1, an open goal, a field goal from number 10, Akiko Kato. Discipline, an issue for Japan. They have 3 yellows and 3 greens from their opening 3 matches. And there is the coach, Yuji Nagai, and our umpires for this one, Alice Rostron for South Africa, going on the near side and on the far side in the cap, Fanica Alcameda from the Netherlands. Up in the 3rd umpire's box is Kelly Hudson. So, Ash Neal Ashwell, sorry, in the Hockey Roos goal is who Japan are going to have to try and beat. Australia beat England by 2-1, drew with Argentina 1-1, beat Germany 3-1. Japan lost to New Zealand 2-1, drew with China 1-0, and lost the Dutch by 1-0. And it is Japan in the all-blue strip that get us underway in the first half. Their usual start of playing it back and then cracking it up the field, but a bit more of an angle on that one, so they actually managed to retain possession. And alongside me in the commentary box for this one, the former England and Great Britain player Mel Clulo. And Mel, Japan very much the underdogs here today.
Yeah, they are, but they were the underdogs the other night against Holland, and they were really unlucky to walk away having lost that game 1-0. But for me personally, I think Australia are the team that have really dealt with playing quarters really, really well, partly because they're always used to just coming out the blocks right from the first whistle and putting your opponent under pressure.
Yeah, the Dutch haven't been too happy about the corner system. Just was in the press conference after the Dutch-Germany game. Sjoerd Marijn, the head coach, when asked about what he thought of the quarters, he said he heard an interview from Anita Punt, the New Zealand captain, who said she really enjoyed it against China and didn't enjoy it against the Dutch. And I think that probably sums it up. I think the perceived weaker teams or lower ranked teams will enjoy the quarters format more than the higher ranked teams, simply because they're not going to be under the cosh for larger periods of time. There's going to be a break in that pressure. So here is Nakagawa, the captain. Back to Otta. Nakagawa tries to find Sakai, but the pass really puts her under pressure, but gets a little bit of time because Nelson's gone to ground, but they've won it back. Here is Smith. Smith wins the free hit. Quick word about the weather, Mel Clulo. It's an absolute scorcher here in Mendoza today. It's 35 degrees on the bench in the shade.
Yeah, fortunately the commentary box is in the shade.
In comes a chance, and Smith can't make contact, but an opportunity for Australia inside the opening 2.5 minutes.
The form that Emily Smith's been in this tournament, she would have expected, and I think we half expected at least a shot to be on target.
She has had an absolutely superlative tournament so far, Emily Smith. Some wonderful goals, some excellent balls, and here's another look at it.
Just a great cross from Bone, I think it is. Makes the initial trap, maybe put off slightly by Hayashi coming in on the sliding tackle.
Edwina Bone is another player who has impressed for the Hockey Roos here in Mendoza, and here goes Smith again. Smith into the circle, plays it back, and it is in! Australia have the opening goal, and it could be Smith or Nascon. Slattery. Let's have another look. I can see Smith's getting the plaudits. It's the third goal for her if it is Smith who's got the final touch. She started it. Well, it's not Smith. It's Nascon.
I think possibly Slattery's goal, maybe in off the Japanese defender. Nanscon.
No, onto Nanscon's stick, so it's unlucky for Japan because they actually get it clear. Slattery plays it goalward. Give it to Nascon. We'll wait and see. We'll let you know where it's gone. But the point is, inside the opening 3 minutes, or opening 4 minutes, Australia are in front. And that's going to make life very difficult now for Japan. If it is Nascon's goal, and it is, it seems, it's her second of the tournament.
She started the tournament in midfield, Nanscon, I think because there was an injury to Amelia Spence. Last 2 games she's been moved back up front, which I think is probably her preferred position, and she scored 2 in 2 from that striker line.
So Japan looking to hit straight back if they can. Jodie Kenny. Sakai comes to meet it but can't bring it under control. Slattery drops it back out. The aerial ball is thrown, and underneath it is Hayashi. Ota. Shibata. Flanagan picks it up. Flanagan drops it out to Spence, who has that heavily strapped right thigh to protect the hamstring. Flanagan. Easton. Down to Kirsten Dwyer. Dwyer drops it back out to Easton, who now comes to Kenny on this right flank. In it comes. That's gone. Penalty corner off the foot of Otta. And Australia looking very, very dangerous here. They're inside, what, 5 minutes, and it's been all Hockeyroos pressure.
It's what they're used to doing to opponents, but it was just their patience around the back. Work the ball to the right-hand side. Great lead out by Nanscon. Kenny delivers. The one-touch deflection is so difficult for defenders to try and pick up because they're normally moving to try and mark that particular player.
So Kenny is at the top of the circle with Flanagan. She is the leading goal scorer with Marcia Palmer in the tournament with 3 goals. All 6 of those pairs goals coming from penalty corners. Is it to be a 4th? For Kenny, yes it is. Low, that's where she likes to go. And she has beaten Asano. All ends up, and the Hockeyroos are 2-0 up. And we've only played 5 minutes and 19 seconds of the match. 2 in 2.
It's fantastic delivery. Casey Eastham on the injection always puts the ball exactly where the trapper doesn't have to move. And Jodie Kenny just stays low, uses her long levers to project that ball. Stick side, backboard high, so difficult for a goalkeeper to try and save. And Asano has had a good tournament as the Japanese goalkeeper, but you're not going to stop that.
Now this could be a cricket score now, couldn't it? Could be an absolute hatful for the Hockeyroos. One thing you know is Japan will give it absolutely everything until the end. They are not the team, they're not the sort of team that will drop their heads. They won't be allowed to by their head coach, Yuji Nagai. Never made it into play, and so it's a sideline ball which Bone will take. Kenny, sit back from McMahon. Australians won't mind playing in this temperature. Round they come again. McMahon to Kenny, winding it up and having to make the touch was Manabe. Oh, well, it's gone as a 16. I thought there was last off a Japan stick. No protests from the Hockeyroos. Oh, dearie me, Nance is in. They're still in. Nazcon plays it into the centre, penalty corner coming, and Japan, they've got to be clinical when the ball goes round the back. They can't give away anything, especially soft penalty corners such as that.
It's great pressure by Australia. Nance couldn't quite get the ball under control before that happened, but it fell nicely for Nanscon.
Off the foot of Sakaguchi. And Kenny goes to the top of the circle once more. it comes from Eastham, stopped by Attard. Kenny's just done it again. Same spot, same result, 3-0. And the Hockey Roos are on the march here. Let's have another look.
Exactly the same corner routine, same 3 players involved. It's just unstoppable. Even the camera's struggling from that angle to keep up with the speed of that shot from Jodie Kenny. She was outstanding at the Commonwealth Games with her corners, and she's carrying on here where she left off in Glasgow.
Well, it's 3 goals in 4 minutes for Australia, and now it's a matter of pride for Japan. That's more like it, but you're not going to get much of the ball against Australia. The last thing you want to be doing is just giving it away to them free. I think Japan are 3-0 up and feeling sorry for the Hockey Roos. Extraordinary decision. Flanagan to McMahon. Flanagan throws the aerial, and not enough space given from Nance. There is the temperature, 33.5 degrees on the bench. So it's going to be pretty hot on the park. Chance for Kanafuji. Kanafuji's got Shibata to her left. And free hit for Japan. And Japan, you'd be forgiven for thinking they'd be shell shot, but it's good to see them trying to come forward. There's all this chat about quarters and sustaining pressure. If you come out of the blocks quickly and you take your chances, it doesn't matter what format of the game you play.
Exactly. Agreed. I think the quarters allows you to keep your better players on for longer periods of time, but like I said at the start, Australia, whether you play quarters, whether you play halves, probably whether you play eighths, they will always come out and play exactly the same way. And it shows you that, yes, it does change the game in terms of tactics, and coaches able to implement things more in a game, but they've just got on with it. They've got on with the game. Whistle goes and they play their style.
Convenient sometimes for coaches to hide behind as an excuse when their players don't play quite as well, perhaps. Oh dear, that's a poor aerial from McMahon, and it's straight to Otsuka, but McMahon atones for her error and then gives it back again. Nazuki Nagai. Sakai under pressure from Smith, runs into Slattery. And down the line from Hayashi. And with her back to where she wants to go is Bone. Does well. Smith comes. Nelson, Nascon can't bring it under control. An edge from Yuri Nagai. Oh, was it kept in play by Nakashima? No, it wasn't. And he goes down the line, and Nelson can't bring it under control, so Japan have possession. This is Nagai. And the aerial thrown from Kenny, an apology from Kenny, because there's no real direction on it, just too much power. Chitani. Nagai up in front of her down this left right. Chitani tries to play in Nagai. The touch from Kenny. Nagai and Nelson around Flanagan. Flanagan takes the ball. No, she doesn't, illegally, say the officials. Nakagawa. Sakai in the long corner. Here goes Nagai into the circle, it comes, and it's still there for Japan, and Nelson has to get it behind. You hear all the chat going on in the Australia defence as Japan come deep and Hayashi plays it up to the top of the circle, and Yuri Nagai can't find Hazuki Nagai, and Australia bring it away. Here's Flanagan. McMahon. Bone wants it played up the right flank, but it's going back to Kenny. McMahon. Up to the edge of the circle. The first touch wasn't the best of touches from Hayashi, but it remains in her control. And we enter, or we're coming towards the final 2 minutes of the first quarter, and Japan getting dangerously again. Sakai almost dispossessed by Smith, but credit to Japan for the way they've continued after the 9th minute or 8th minute, but it's those 3 goals in 4 minutes have pretty much settled the tie. No, clearly.
I think so, yeah, and I think it's quite interesting. I think this Australia side is, or the group of players at least, are almost getting back to the golden days of the late 90s into the early 2000s. Had a bit of a dip after Beijing, but you can see sort of from 2010, probably right the way through to Rio will be their goal. They made the World Cup final this year. And you look at this squad compared to some of the players that have been left at home, either injured or being rested. And there's ominous signs for world hockey, and it's looking very positive for the Hockeyroos.
Most consistent side here so far. Still wait to see the likes of Argentina against China. That's the last match today, and New Zealand and England. But on the form we've seen, the winner's probably going to come from Argentina, Australia or Holland. And considering Argentina and Holland are destined to play each other in the semi-final, one of those two will be taken out. And it comes again from Kelly, deflection. No, Smith couldn't quite get on the end of it. Harris was the player further back. As it comes in, there's 2 of them there.
Wasn't far away. Saw Lichetti score a goal like that for Argentina the other day.
Wells gets a rare touch, plays it up to Kenny. Final 10 seconds of the first quarter. And there is the quarter time hooter, and what a start by the Hockeyroos. 3 goals in 4 minutes means at quarter time they lead Japan by 3 goals to 0. Well, Georgia Nanskon got the ball rolling for Australia in the 4th minute, and then 2 penalty corners in the 6th and 8th, both for Jodie Kenny, both in the same position away to Sakiyo Asano's right-hand side, and Yuji Nagai has got to come up with a plan D, because plan A, B and C have gone out the window.
Oh, it's just been an absolutely fantastic quarter by Australia. I think they scored their 3 goals in 4 or 5 minutes, but they've just been in control for the entire quarter, and it's an uphill struggle for Japan, and I would imagine Australia will just keep playing the way that they have been.
Let's listen to Adam Cummins. We're not going to get the chance because we're going to the highlights, and there should be plenty of highlights here, mostly from left to right. This the second of Kenny's 2 goals. 5 now for the tournament for the Australian number 7. And water being put on the pitch at quarter time because it is just so hot out there. The breeze is coming in from left to right, from behind the Australia goal, as we look down from our camera position. But down on the pitch, there's very little breeze because of the stand, so it must feel like an absolute furnace down there. And Japan get an opportunity to catch Australia napping a little bit, but Japan were also a little tardy for the restart. And we've seen that so many times in this competition. You'd imagine you'd see one team do it once, and then the last thing you do is be late. You thought the team manager would be there looking at the clock going, right, you've got 10 seconds, we need you to be out there.
It's not as though the clock's small in the corner either, is it?
Nope. But it is in red, so maybe that's the difficulty. McMahon. Free hits further up the park, it's being brought forward and Bone will take it. Back to Kenny, McMahon. Back to McMahon. Plenty of time for the Hockey Roos to be on the ball as they play it around the back. Everybody in a blue shirt inside the 25. Can't bring it under control. This is what Japan did against the Dutch so successfully. The difference being is they didn't concede the 3 early goals. Sakai, who had a great game against the Dutch hold here. She's lost possession and Smith can run at the circle. Smith drops it out. This is Nanscombe back into the top of the circle. Chance for Dwyer. And she never really got hold of it, Rebecca Dwyer. And Asano makes an easy save. Japan through Nakashima, bring the ball away, wins the free hit. Nakagawa will take out to that right flank where Yuri Nagai brings it under control. Nagai got Shibata to her left on the other side of the park, still going. Down to Hazuki Nagai and she can't keep it in play.
This is the last opportunity by Australia and they really make the game look so simple. One touch in and around the circle, always trying to expose the left foot of the defender. Dwyer with the swivel shot and Asano with the save, but in this heat, Australia are doing a very good job of just moving the ball onto the free player.
Nanscombe takes that one on the foot. Just dropped off Australia, and now they come forward. They allow the opponents to move it to one side or the other, and then they go. McMahon, Bone, Slattery, still going. Slattery wins the free hit off Otta. Bone will take. Bone across the circle it goes. Sakai gets a heavy touch, but is allowed to recover. Slattery can't bring it under control. Come on. Onto the top it goes. This time she gets hold of it, Dwyer, but the result is the same. A save from Asano. It's a long corner as Nanscombe followed in.
The difference between the Australians and the Dutch playing against Japan is Australia are prepared to go around the outside of their press. This is the second shot for Dwyer. Australia are going around the outside of the press. Holland tried to go through it. They got the ball into the middle of the field, trying to crash the ball into their forwards on top of the circle, and Japan were just, that was where their Japanese wall was. They picked it up every time and just frustrated the Dutch.
Spence. The cut needs to drop that out to Kirsten Dwyer, now playing at the right side of defence. It's Kirsten Dwyer and Rebecca Dwyer in this Hockey Rouge team. Slattery. Nelson with the free sideline ball, and it's met by Otter and dispatched back out to the sideline. Hassan. Kenny. Hassan rifles it in, last off Otter. Hayashi, in fact, the last player to get the touch. Kato putting her body on the line to keep Australia out. Kirsten Dwyer up against Kato. And, Kato doing well. But gives away the free hit. Dwyer takes it quickly into Slattery. Slattery on the burst. Crossing comes a chance here, perhaps for Paris. No.
Just having an amazing ability to create something out of what looks like nothing. Ball's out wide on a long corner, you don't think there's any danger or any threat, and then suddenly within 2 or 3 passes he's in top of the circle, in towards the penalty spot.
Flanagan. So Kenny. Dwyer. Kenny, he's got a patch of the pitch to contend with. (16) for Japan. Who've now gone a quarter without conceding. They are 3 goals down. Georgia Hanscon opening proceedings for the Hockey Rouge on the 4th minute, then 2 penalty corners, one on the 6th, one on the 8th, both by Jodie Kenny, both in the same place. And Hockey Rouge in complete control of this second quarter final on day 4 of competition at the Women's Champions Trophy in Mendoza, Argentina. Nice work from Slakar, but she's lost out again, and here comes Smith. Smith playing it into Paris. Paris first time. The keeper makes the save, but they haven't got it free here. Japan. And come back out to the top of the circle, and Nance is trying to make some space. That's blown for a high ball. And they're going to refer this.
I think it came up off a Japanese stick.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Looking for a high ball off Japan's stick. Okay, I'm looking for a dangerous ball off Japan's stick. Yes, please.
So, let's see what the slow-mo replay shows us.
I think as as Nance spins here, I think it comes up off Japanese stick.
Up off Shibata's stick. But a case perhaps from Japan from the ball in earlier for the reverse stick shot that was actually outside the circle that came in too high. Up off the stick of Shibata.
job. The ball is dangerous. Penalty corner to Australia. Make it 0-0. Okay, thank you.
It's a penalty corner.
Final decision, the ball is dangerous. Penalty corner from Australia.
And Kenny can go to work again. Well, it's 2 from 2. Penalty corners for Australia. Attard, Kenny goes the other way, chance. It's been put in, but the whistle has blown. It was Nelson who put it in. But the umpire had already stopped play.
Yep, Jodie Kenny opting to go the other side. Sakai is on the post, plays the ball into, and it hits Nance on the foot before Nelson puts it in.
More Australia pressure.
It's easy to say when she hasn't scored her third one, but when you've put two like an absolute bullet in the same corner.
Double bluff, isn't it? Go the same place.
Should have put it in, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Hayashi to Otta. First time from Nakagawa around the corner. It's out of play, and there's just over 5.5 remaining in the first half. Australia very pleased with the way things have gone so far in this one. Smith just dropping out, Sakai takes, and easily picked off by Bone. Into Kenny, Attard. For a minute there I thought Kenny was starting to play in midfield, but she's now dropped back to her preferred position in the centre of the back line for the Hockeyroos. McMahon trying to pick up Smith. Japan should have cut that out because it had so far to travel. That ball, and Nance didn't anticipate the defender missing it. If she anticipates the defender missing, then there's a chance she gets on the end of it. Goes into the body of McMahon, no one really too close. McMahon and Kenny just happy to play the ball between themselves, waiting for the gap to open. Pass doesn't find a goal shot on this occasion. Japan bring it away, and Easton penalised for that tackle. Here's the tackle again.
Half a stick.
McMahon hasn't really got anywhere to go, so she comes to Bone on the right hand side. Bone back to McMahon. Bit of pressure from Kato, who's one possession. McMahon gets it back pretty comfortably and finds Spence. Spence up against Ichitani. Spence has left the ball behind, and Ichitani should get possession. She does. place. It is there now. Hayashi. Aimless ball up the park. Attard into the circle, but there's 4 players in blue between Attard and Slattery. It's a wasted ball. They played so well when they moved the ball around Australia. They don't need to do that.
That's when they were, like we said earlier, when they were successful, they were going around the outside, whereas almost they seem to be frustrated now. Trying to hit into the circle, perhaps on the wrong angles, from too far away.
Does one up again next. You can hear Alan Cummins shouting, "Go width, go width." Into Flanagan. Flanagan cuts back inside. Does she find the foot of Nomura? She does. She takes it quickly and finds the foot of Nomura once more. Inside the final minute of the first half. Australia haven't added to their 3-0 advantage in the second quarter so far. Flanagan off the stick of Nomura, and Shibata gets it. Nagai. Spence wins the free hit. There's going to be one more opportunity for the Hockey Roos. They try and put it through the Slattery and just cuffed off the back of the park once again. It's every time Hayashi gets it, she just bangs it off the end of the park, which could get rather tedious by the end of the fourth quarter. Hoping that Japan would show a little bit more willingness to keep the ball. And time will run out on Australia on this attack, but they are comfortably on top in this second quarter final. At half-time against Japan, the Hockey Roos lead by 3-0. So Georgian Nascon got the first of Australia's 3 goals from open play. But Adam Cummins, I'm sure, will be hoping that his side can start the third quarter like they did the first. You can see Kirsten Dwyer just having a chat down on the sidelines. But Japan, while they have it all to do, they've got to try and regroup here at half-time. They're pretty aimless at the end of that second quarter. Half-time score here, Australia lead by 3-0. but Australia well and truly in control of this one. They lead by 3 goals to 0. So Mel Clulo still alongside me. Here are the highlights of the first half, and the first half where Emily Smith could have actually given them the lead before the 3 minutes breakthrough came.
Yeah, they were absolutely fantastic. This is the first goal, and it's the little dink here by Smith, but it's, to be honest, it's Slatter's willingness to dive full length to try and get something on that. Japan tried to clear it, unfortunately, onto Nanscorn's stick for the first goal, and you know, Jodie Kenny is proving that she's actually, she's a world-class drag flicker, and she put her first one there, and minutes later she's put her second one in exactly the same spot. There's probably 2 ball marks, probably actually 1 ball mark where those 2 balls have hit, and they thoroughly deserve to be 3-0 up at that stage, and Japan haven't offered too much coming forwards. That was their one opportunity, but Ashley Nelson in the right place just to clear the ball. And I think the thing that's really impressive about this Hockey Rouge team is just their ability to get their shots away in the circle from literally nowhere, no space, no nothing. They create half a yard, shots away.
This is the Hockey Rouge pressure towards the end of the first half, and here is the first half in stats. 7 circle penetrations, 4 shots, 3 goals. That's a great conversion rate. 72% in opponent's half. It really is as much as that, and it feels that much. Sometimes you see that stat and it doesn't quite add up to what you've witnessed, but certainly here Japan on the back foot, and it's frustrating when you see a team, Japan, okay, yes, they are 3 down, they are under pressure, but at times when they just smack the ball off the end of the park, there's just no game plan there, and you know, they should have a game plan, especially at this level.
Absolutely, and not only are they hitting the ball off the end of the pitch, they're staying in their own quarter, maybe their own half. They're not even following up to then put Australia under pressure.
Let's not forget social media on Facebook at facebook.com/FI Hockey. The next one's an at Twitter. Our Twitter handle at FIH_hockey, hashtag CT2014. There's Instagram, of course, as well, FI Hockey, and YouTube, FI Hockey. But it's also worth pointing out at this stage that the FIH is launching online voting for you, the public, for their Player of the Year vote for 2014. There's the Player of the Year, Goalkeeper of the Year, Rising Star of the Year for both the men and the women's game. Players of both Champions Trophy are voting in all 3 categories. Coaches are also voting in all 3 categories. And you, the public, the fans, can now get involved. And this is the first time it has been opened up to the fans of hockey. From the week commencing 15th of December, you can vote for your favourite players. Now, let's get a half-time reaction from Adam Cummins, the Australia coach.
Adam, in your opinion, what was the difference between the first and second quarter there?
I think in the first quarter we got our penalty corners and we were able to execute them. I think if we had executed our penalty corner in the second quarter, we go to 4-0. I thought that Japan adapted to some of the things that we were doing and they had an improved performance. What we're about now is trying to stick with the process, have the good discipline and make sure that we have good decisions on the ball as well.
Brilliant, thank you.
Can't say fairer than that from Adam Cummins, but you usually get a very straight answer from the Hockey Rouge coach. But yeah, just going back to it, don't forget that you can vote on Facebook from the 15th of December for the Player of the Year. Stay tuned on FIH social media, Facebook and Twitter for further information. The voting will open, as I say, 15th of December, week commencing that after the Men's Champions Trophy in Bhubaneswar, India. That's the view up in towards the foothill of the Andes here in Mendoza. A lovely part of the world, just west of, I say just, it's 1,100 kilometers west of Buenos Aires. And, very close to Santiago, just a couple of 300 Ks from Santiago. So Emily Smith and Australia get us underway in the second half, attacking the goal to our left-hand side. They lead by 3 goals to 0. All 3 goals coming in 4 first quarter minutes and they are very worthy of their lead. 72% possession in the opponent's half, and that is why they're in front. That's a good take from Flanagan as the ball came across, and a rare foray into the Australia circle for Japan. Alongside me in the commentary box, still Mel Clulo, and Mel, Japan just need to bring something to the table here in this second half.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I think certainly watching them in the first half and throughout this tournament, they start off very positive, and then slowly as time ticks by, they just seem to get deeper and deeper and deeper into their own defending half. Doesn't give them any passing options when they do win the ball, so they're just creating their own press. Casey
Easton wins the free hit, takes it quickly up to the edge, and not 5, so they're going to have to take this again. Flanagan standing over the ball. And Fanica Alcamada, the umpire on the far side, just asking the players to separate. Here comes Kenny. McMahon now. Flanagan. Dropping it back out to McMahon. This is what Australia did really well in the first quarter. Just look after the ball, spread it around. And they didn't really do it as well in the second. Oh dear. Kenny's got that one all wrong.
It's just so difficult when Japan put 11 players in their own 25. It is so difficult to break it down. Australia are trying to do the right thing. They're putting people on the baseline and on the sidelines, but there's not a lot of space to work.
She wins the free hit. And a measured aerial from her, and Nagai now takes it on through the skipper onto Ichitani. Ichitani wins the free hit. Into the circle it goes. Flanagan's right behind it. Ooh. And she clears it, but she clears it upfield. And Rebecca Dwyer wasn't watching the ball, had her back to it. And well, from this angle it looked fairly close, but she didn't seem too worried. Ichitani plays it infield to Nagai. This is Yuri Nagai. That's the free hit, and it's a bit more about Japan, isn't there, at the start of this second half than there was in the whole of the first half. Nagai into Kato. Kato up against Flanagan, long corner. Now space along the back line, but in it comes. Chance here. Oh, she didn't really attack it, the skipper. And as a result, never really got the shot away, Nakagawa. Well, the opportunity was there. Sakai. Straight onto the stick of Smith, who's hounding Sakai. Oh, and Nascom could take advantage here. And Hayashi does really well, but they've taken it quickly, the Hockeroos. Smith and Slattery. Slattery can't get on the end of it. Trying that little dink that we saw Rebecca do against England a couple of days ago. Japan lucky there. Might not be so lucky here. Oh, in fact, there's a card going the way of Australia, and it's Ash Nelson who's making her way over to the naughty step. As we see a replay of the Slattery chance.
Just feel that Emily Smith there possibly could have done a little bit more before she made that pass. Japanese defender didn't commit, she stayed on the line of the pass.
Nanza just deflected that into the drink of Adam Cummins as he was taking a sip of his bottle. Nance deflected the ball up into the bottle, and Cummins had a little laugh with Nance. Nance apologised. Can be a dangerous place on the sideline. Dwyer shows good pace to come away from Kanafuji. Dwyer still going. Dwyer into the 25. Someone's got to make a challenge. Dwyer up to the edge of the circle. Here's Slattery. Ball up and onto the head of Sakaguchi. Penalty corner given. And a little discussion with Fanaka Alkamada from Japan, but no referral.
It'd be interesting to see whose stick it came up of originally. There's no question, obviously, that it's hit a Japanese head. They may be going for a team referral at the moment, or they're having a chat.
It's off a blue stick, isn't it? Well, they are going upstairs.
Okay,
I'm afraid this one might be
me?
disappointing for Japan fans.
Too late for a team referral. The replays have already been shown. There's no referral possible. Too late. Yeah?
Fair call.
Yeah,
They've all seen the replays in the
well,
stadium.
in which case they shouldn't have referred. Anyway, Kelly Hudson probably doing Japan a favour there. So Kenny then, this for a hat trick. There's only one castle, there's only one taker. In fact, there's now two castles. Eddie Bones on the right-hand one. And it comes from Spence. And Kenny. Oh, Attard couldn't stop it.
Terrible injection, to be honest.
And Attard shifting across the top of the circle.
Moving left to right is harder to adjust as a trapper.
Well, there's no reach there, is there? You can go the other way and reach and still be on balance. Reaching across to your right when you're moving that way on the backhand is very difficult. Kenny. Get the ball back from Carmichael, who's on. Haven't seen much of Matilda Carmichael in this game. Flanagan onto the reverse stick. Now there's space for Flanagan to run into. The support was coming from Spence, and it just needed to be a little roll ball from Flanagan rather than trying to pick out Paris. Spence had space to run into. McMahon, as Australia are back up to a full complement. Carmichael, McMahon outside it to the left, opts not to do it and goes up the middle to Nelson. And Nelson made a right hash of that.
It's great that Japan at least have come out in this quarter to attack Australia and actually have a go at them. I think it's really important that they can show the game's not just built around a solid defence and putting numbers behind the ball, that they have actually got some really good attacking players and options.
Kanafuji just gets a heavy touch on that, and Kirsten Dwyer brings up possession, but she's in a tight little spot and she's giving it away here. Nakagawa, chance here for Japan. Flanagan, Nakagawa. It was a difficult shot for Nakagawa.
It's a great little move. I think it's Dwyer eventually put some pressure on at the top of the circle. Almost got a touch which may have put the Japanese captain off, Nakagawa, but again, positive signs. Put Australian defence under pressure, they sometimes give you the ball.
Now a chance. Kato has got support out inside for Nakashima. Kato, McMahon trying to make the tackle. Kato into the circle. Kato still going. Here's Nakagawa back underneath Kenny. Nakagawa, good save from Wells, and a penalty corner goes Japan's way.
Penalty corner to Japan.
Are they going to refer this, Australia? They are going upstairs.
Can you hear me, Kelly? I can. Okay. I played in Bounty, and he's going off the goalkeeper from Australia, And for me, there was a tackle from the Australia just before the keeper.
Okay, so I'm looking for a stick tackle from Australia just in front of the keeper there after the shot. Yes. Okay, I'll have a look.
So Kelly Hudson called into action once again. Let's have another look. Well,
Foot there.
There's a foot there, so it doesn't matter about the stick tackle. And the point of the video umpires to get the right result, and the right result would be a penalty corner for Japan because it's come off Jodie Kenny's foot.
Some would argue, though, she's got the shot away. So is the advantage over because she's got a good shot away? And I think she's given it for that particular tackle there with Anna Flanagan going in.
In fact, it's Kirsten Dwyer's foot, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's the foot. Comes back. They're appealing here. In comes the shot. Save made.
Annalise, no reason to change your decision. Stay with the
think it's
penalty
that stick
corner.
tackle there by
Australia
Anna
lose their referral. Thank you.
So Australia lose the referral. And Japan have a chance here. Sakai and Hayashi at the top of the circle. Sakai, they're looking for the deflection, and Flanagan's read that all the way. No disguise at all from Japan. Tanaka. Can't make anything happen there, and that was disappointing from a Japan point of view.
Clearly, I think Australia have done their homework because we saw Japan score against China. Something very similar with the deflection just in front of the goalkeeper.
Kirsten Dwyer then with the ball on that far side into McMahon. Easton. McMahon back to her skipper. Easton twisting, turning now into the 25. Easton bringing the, well, she's carried the ball almost half the length of the pitch. Flanagan on the reverse stick. She's got Nelson in support. Here is Nelson now. She should go up and around that right-hand side. The ball speed just not quite there for Australia. Needs to be sharper just to give them that space. Nelson cracking it in. Sakai gets a stick on it like she did against the Dutch the other night. Very solid.
If you're going to crash the ball in, you've got to crash it in whilst the Japanese defence is moving. At the moment, because the ball speed isn't quick enough, it's giving the Japanese defence time to set. Therefore, trapping the ball as it's crashed in becomes easier.
Easton, first touch wasn't great, so back to McMahon it goes. Flanagan on this left flank. And Flanagan didn't look before she played the pass, and a little questioning of Gabrielle Nance in front of her. Here Nagai touches it onto Flanagan's stick. Flanagan up to Easton. Easton into the circle. Slattery trying to get herself free. And Hayashi just about does enough. Japan win the free hit, and we're 4 minutes away from the end of the third quarter. It's still Australia 3, Japan 0. All 3 goals coming in the first quarter, and since then, well, Australia haven't really had to chase the game. They haven't had to put any pressure on.
Japanese keeper hasn't made a save.
McMahon. Good pressure. Unlucky from Tanaka. She just had a hand off the stick, and that's what gave Nelson the free hit. Here is Nelson under pressure from Nakashima. Flanagan, who now playing on the right-hand side of defence for Australia. That's a better ball in terms of speed from Flanagan to McMahon. Dwyer, Flanagan. Flanagan taking on Marker, almost getting the better of her, then passes it back to Kirsten Dwyer. Dwyer to McMahon. McMahon weighing up her options. She's driving into the space. McMahon into the circle, looking for the penalty corner. But, the Japan fender is down well, and it's Nakashima who gets the ball clear, and it comes again. Good touch, important touch from Sakaguchi, because Smith was in behind her. Kenny back into the fray after a little rest. McMahon, Bone. Good trap by Sakai once again, but that's gone almost nips it off her. Japan ball. Aerial throw from Sakai, cut out by Rebecca Dwyer. Otter to Hayashi, Sakai, Tanaka. I think Japan think it's their ball. Yeah, it is a Japan ball. Manabe will come across to take. And Kenny makes an easy trap. And the three-quarter time report reads, Mel Clulo.
Well, I think, to be honest, 7 minutes into the game with Australia 3-0 up, you definitely couldn't see Japan coming back into it. I realise there is still another quarter to go, but I think from the Hockeyroos perspective, Adam Cummins summed it up at half-time. Yes, Japan have changed what they're doing, but he's also disappointed that it's not. They haven't pushed on and scored any more goals. And for me, in this quarter in particular, they're getting the ball into reasonable areas, but they're just crashing it in on a 45. There's no variation in what they're trying to do.
Naga's going to have to do this all herself, and she can't get past Jodie Kenny. Not many people can here in Mendoza. Nance on the reverse. Oh, Nance con. What a little finish that would have been. Not far away, was she? What an end to the third quarter that would have been, but Australia haven't added to their first quarter score. It's still Australia 3, Japan 0. Signs of grassroots and positive shoots for Japan, but in truth, Australia know this one is in the bag and perhaps guilty of just taking their foot off the pedal a little bit. There's a little bit of shade now underneath our commentary position that's afforded by the stand. Adam Cummins will use this 2 minutes. Let's see if we can listen into what the Hockeyroos coach is saying.
Getting to about there and as high as possible. Yeah? When it goes full width and we come back, we'll be getting to there. And remember, if we get to that line, yeah, we look like we're going to go to T-point and we look it back. When we've got the ball in this area, fucking left foot balls, run them and feed them, yeah? Run them and feed them there. Yes.
Like, I think just don't be too deep maybe on that one.
Yeah.
A couple times we've got too wide to get to before we can find a striker.
It's got to be left foot, and there's going to be a little in out. Yeah? One of the things I was a bit disappointed with was that there was probably a lack of linking before you received the ball. Yeah? And so we were hesitating here or hesitating here. So make sure you have good linking. The other point is when they're in this area here, they're just going to crack it. Yeah? So we've got to make sure that we're ready to make the intercepts. Okay, when we make the intercept, we go quickly. Yep. Okay, let's go.
So, in Interesting words once again from Adam Cummins, and there's only 10 seconds until this final quarter gets underway, and suddenly all the teams are running back onto the park, and we're just about ready. Australia have possession and they get us underway in quarter 4, leading by 3-0. Nice ball off the foot of Nakashima. McMahon puts the ball back. Rebecca Dwyer up into Eastham, and there's some high pressing from Japan here at the start of this fourth quarter. McMahon wants some movement up in front of her, gets it to Dwyer. Dwyer onto the reversing side. Rebecca Dwyer gets the ball into the circle. Sakai's there, but her ball out, picked up by Paris, wins the free hit. Paris into the circle.
She didn't take it outside the 5, outside the dotted line before she took the quick free hit.
Well, Nanscon looks as if she might have one possession back. Nanscon still going. Nanscon will put it back to Smith, and Smith wins the penalty corner. It was a heavy challenge from Hayashi that's given it away. Otter, excuse me. No, it's Hayashi. Otter who lost the stick. So Kenny and Flanagan at the top of the circle. A minute into the fourth quarter. Kenny, and this time she gets down to the right hand side, the keeper, to make the save. That one along the ground, which made it slightly easier for her. And Sakaguchi was also in attendance on the post.
Going for probably her favoured corner, and Japan just opting for two post players. Sakai on one side, Sakaguchi on the other, and I think it's a combination of the goalkeeper and Sakaguchi, but kept the ball out.
Yuri Nagai. Flanagan. McMahon. Kenny. Long corner. Japan. Taken by Nagai. Nagai. Chitani. Chitani along the goal line. Kenny. Gets the ball out of play. Chitani. Straight to Rebecca Dwyer. He brings it up over the 25. Good tackle from Sakai. Sakai into the circle. That's the penalty corner. Up from Eddie Bone into Kato. That's Adam's Cummins' view on the whole situation.
Couldn't have explained it any better ourselves, really, could we?
He can use language, we can't. Apologies if any offence taken from Adam Cummins' words. Now, chance here for Japan. It's Sakai again. Sakai straight at the goal. That's a good pick from Kenny. And she's quickly across. Just a bit slow from Japan, those penalty corners. Off Flanagan, long corner.
I do wonder whether some of the speed got taken off by the number one runner actually getting to the flick from Sakai. Almost seemed to loop at goal rather than go with any power.
That guy played it off Flanagan's stick. Ota to Hayashi. Sakai not ready for that one. Nazcon with Dwyer going outside. And Spence is on in Dwyer's plate. Oh, Sakai just got that one all wrong, but not 5 with Spence, so she gets away with that, although she played it onto her body. Nakagawa. And Slattery only has Nance in support, and there's 4 players in blue between Slattery and Nance, so she's going to have to wait for support here. And here is it in Eastham. Eastham has lost out to Kanafuji. Kirsten Dwyer inside Kanafuji. Still going Dwyer. Lovely skills from Dwyer to the edge of the circle. Still going. Slattery can't get the shot away, and then it's lifted into the Japan player. And the whistle gives Japan the free out. And Asano made a decent save though, even though the whistle had gone.
Given for dangerous play. This is the Japanese corner. I think there's definitely some pace taken off it by, was it Bone running one, but touch and go in that claim down there by Australia for possibly a corner. So difficult when a player jumps but also is bent at the same time.
Chance here for Japan. Kanafuji, they must score, they do. What a brilliantly taken goal by Japan, and they get some reward for their efforts. I think it's Otsuka who has scored. I'll wait confirmation of that, but lovely interchange of passes.
Turnover ball in the middle of the pitch. 4 Australia defenders go very narrow. It's really unselfish play by Kanafuji just to roll in.
Shibata with the initial run, and confirmation there that it is number 7, Shiho Otsuka, who gets Japan a consolation. Or is it more than that? We've still got 9:20 remaining in the piece. And they're coming forward again here, Japan. They're going to be buoyed by that goal. Ooh, they've almost stolen possession back there. And Australia get the decision. Here is Ota. Australia now looking to bounce back if they can. Australia conceded a goal in every match they've played, so that will give opponents hope. Flip side is they do score a lot of goals, Australia. Can't bring that under control. Japan ball. Nagai to Nomura. Nomura has support to Tanaka. Tanaka. Oh, Shibata's in front of her. Here is Shibata. Shibata up to the circle edge, around Kirsten Dwyer, or not, as the case may be, because it is a 16 to the Hockey Roos. Rebecca Dwyer is back inside, up into towards Paris. And Hazuki Nagai will clear possession. McMahon. Oh, that's almost a good looking ball into Paris, but getting in the way was Otter. Nanscon, Paris, Smith. Nope, whistle's gone. Hayashi. It's not a particularly friendly ball to Kanafuji. Does well to bring it under control, but Eastham now, and the Hockeyroos on the front foot. Eastham looking up, and the penalty corner given for the tackle. See this one again.
That's a really strong run by Casey Eastham. Looking here for the pass. Not really an option on. Sakaguchi is with the body check.
Slash stick tackle. No complaints from Japan. Kelly's not on the park, so it's McMahon and Flanagan at the top of the circle. And it's Flanagan scoring. What a penalty corner that is from Anna Flanagan. She's absolutely nailed that one into the roof of the net. No stopping that one. Two keepers aren't stopping that one. It's Australia 4, Japan 1.
Absolutely unbelievable finish by Anna Flanagan. This is what she did so well at the World Cup for the Hockeyroos. High, over the goalkeeper. Nothing that anyone could do. That's almost gone in the roof of the net rather than just the top of the net. She hasn't had too many chances to flick in penalty corners in these competitions because Jodie Kenny's been doing so well.
She gives Anna Cummins food for thought. Nanscon comes forward again, looking for Paris, but it's too far behind. So 3 penalty corners and a field goal for Australia here today. They had scored 3 and 3 coming into the match. Now that's 6 and 4, but 10 goals, by far and away the most goals that any team has scored. Next best Argentina is 6. Flanagan. They've still got to play an extra game, Argentina.
The impressive thing about the Hockeyroos is that they're scoring from corners. They're scoring really good team goals where they just roll it into the free player. And they're scoring the opportunistic goal like Emily Smith scored against Argentina. And it just, when you're trying to do your analysis of an opposition and find out where their strengths and weaknesses are, if you can stop, at the moment it feels like if you can stop, if you don't give corners away against Holland, you're in with a chance of winning that game because Marcia Powman is their biggest threat. But here with the Hockeyroos, there's so much talent and so many game winners out there that it's really, really difficult to know who to close down and what to do.
This is Bone, back to Nelson. Nelson to McMahon. 4.5 minutes remaining in this second quarter final. The winner of this match plays the winner of our next quarter final between New Zealand and England. Australia, of course, already beaten England 2-1 in the first pool match of this tournament. And Australia and New Zealand, well, they know each other ever so well. Just played a 3-match test series in preparation for this tournament, so fascinating semi-final that one will be. The loser of the England-New Zealand match will play Japan. Nanscon, Smith, oh, she's so good, Emily Smith. Getting pushed from all angles and still managing to keep control of the ball. Oh, Attard is going for a little rest. And 2-minute rest which means that Attard will be on for the final 90 seconds of the piece. Chance, and Kato goes to meet the ball, but Eddie Bone does enough. Oh, it's been given as a 16, now it's been given as the long corner. Definitely off Edwina Bone the last. This equals the highest tally of goals in a match at this Champions Trophy, along with Argentina defeating England by this scoreline, 4-1. On that occasion, though, Argentina scoring 3 goals in the last 9 minutes. Slattery doing well. Sakai with a tackle. Adam Cummins wants the free hit for his player. A little bit of sympathy for him. Nakagawa to Sakai. And it comes. Kenny with the deflection behind. Up off the stick of Kato, and the little and large show on the edge of the Hockey Ruse circle. Jodie Kenny, a very tall player, or tall person really, not necessarily a tall player. Inside the final 2, Australia worthy of their win, Mel Clulo.
Yeah, definitely. I think that they're naturally going to be disappointed that they haven't scored more goals and that they weren't able to break down the Japanese defence, but they blew them out of the water in the first quarter. And as we've said in the commentary, if you come out and you do that and you get the goals in the back of the net early, it's really difficult for teams to come back. So I think they're definitely worthy of being in the semi-final, not just on today's performance, but the tournament as a whole.
Australia back up to full complement of 11. Nakagawa. Sakai. Into Nagai. Nagai. Losing out to Smith. Coming to the rescue is Hayashi. Hot up. Sakai. Nakagawa. Nagai, onto the reverse stick. Nagai's shot. It's over the top of the bar, but a nice passage of play there for Japan.
Yeah, Nagai driving in. It's interesting that around about the same time, sort of 2-3 minutes towards the end of the game, exactly when Germany managed to create their chance against Australia, and Japan are doing the same thing. They're playing to the final whistle. Half a chance there. Disappointed that the shot's not on target, but
well, Australia have the best record in terms of Champions Trophies won, along with the Dutch. It's 6 in total for both Australia and Holland, and they're giving themselves a real opportunity here to add a 7th title. As the ball comes in, the final hooter sounds, and Australia, comfortable winners against Japan and booked their place in the semi-final. They've beaten them by 4-1. So Georgia Nascon and Jodie Kenny and Anna Flanagan, the scorers for the Hockey Ruse. The reply from Japan coming from their number 7, Shiho Otsuka. Very well worked team goal. But Adam Cummins and his players will have a day off tomorrow, and they'll prepare for the winners of the New Zealand-England quarter-final, which is next up on the pitch. Japan will prepare to take on the team that is beaten in that one, but Australia booking their place in the semi-final, courtesy of a scoreline that reads Australia 4, Japan 1. So Mel, let's have a look at the highlights then from the match, and this is the first goal for Georgia Nascon.
Yeah, it's a good drive by Emily Smith. Slattery willing to dive to get something at goal, and unfortunately for Otter, she tries to clear the ball and it just goes onto Nanscon's stick. First of Jodie Kenny's 2 goals. It's an absolute bullet. Nothing that Asana in the goal could do anything about it, and 2 minutes later she does exactly the same thing. pinpoint accuracy, and this was the Japanese goal. Turnover in the middle of the pitch, and it just goes to show how simple the game can be. Shibata moves the ball on to Kanafuji, who just rolls in her mate on the far side, Otsuka, for a goal that she's probably going to remember for the rest of her life. And then Anna Flanagan, not too many opportunities in this tournament to have a go at goal, but absolutely world class by her to put it in the roof of the net, and Australia thoroughly deserved their 4-1 victory.
And then just at the end here, nice touch, Japan showing their appreciation for the Hockeyroos, and the Hockeyroos acknowledging that. But Adam Cummins and his team, job done. Let's have a look at the stats then. 4 goals from 4 shots, so 3 from penalty corners, 10 penetrations. Japan coming back into it there, it was 72, wasn't it? Possession in the opponent's half for Australia at half time, so Japan just shaving 12% off that to make it 60-40, but dominant for the Hockeyroos, and it's reflected in the scoreline. Now we're going to hope to get some reaction from the Hockeyroos camp, from Georgia Nazcon and Jodie Kenny, and they are pitch side with Sarah Thomas, who's going to be asking the questions.
Jodie, first to you. 2 goals today and a win. Did you enjoy that one?
Yeah, absolutely loved winning. It was a good game. It's nice to slot 2 in the goal, which is good. Really happy with it.
And going into the semi-final now, do you have any preference on whether you play England or New Zealand?
No, I don't think so. I think that against either opponent it's going to be a tough match, but we're confident that if we stick to our game we can come up well against either, so we'll watch, see what happens.
And any improvements going on to the next game? What will you take into that?
Yeah, I think there's always improvements. We'll have a look at the tape tonight. I thought it was a pretty clinical performance by us. We knew that if we moved it around and slotted some corners, we'd be doing pretty well, but of course there's things to tighten up always.
Brilliant, thanks very much.
Yeah, nice to hear from those two, and no real complaints. I think just a more consistent performance from the Hockeyroos. They were good in the first and in the fourth quarter, but a little off the pace in the second and third, but worthy winners. So this is where we're at. We're at the midpoint of the quarterfinals, still 2 to come. New Zealand and England, they're up next. Then it's the hosts against China. Well, what a fantastic couple of matches we've seen, and the next 2 promise to be very exciting as well. Can New Zealand and England, or can New Zealand get the better of England to make it an Antipodean semi-final? All we know is that whichever team wins quarter-final 3, they're going to have to be on their mettle, because Australia are in form. They've won their quarter-final against Japan by 4 goals to 1.